I have in front of me here a letter from the Shenandoah Valley Partnership addressed to each one of you gentlemen. Also copies to Senator Arbenshain, Delegate Gilbert, Secretary of Agriculture, and the Executive Director of the VEDP. When I got a copy of this letter today, I couldn't believe that an unelected person representing the Shenandoah Valley Partnership would have the temerity to send a letter like this to an elected governing body of any jurisdiction. If I were sitting in your place, I'd have melted the phone lines back to the man that sent this. You people are our elected representatives. You answer to nobody but the people in your districts or at large. And that includes every appointed official in your county and any other place in this state. And I will tell you now that 2 people from this county sit on this board. And if you're funding that board, I'd suggest you pull your funds. Thank you.
My comment on the letter would be, they're trying to say that if we turn FIBROWATT down officially, other than sneakily, then another company will ever come here. I don't believe that for a minute. Another company will come here if they want to come here. Yes. It's not going to have anything to do with it. They could understand, I'm sure they'll understand why we turned FIBROWATT down in this county. It doesn't have a place in this county. By the way, I'm surprised they're not here tonight, but I want to show them this. People talking about putting shrubbery up to hide the stack. There's a 300-foot redwood tree in California. There's a guy right there. See him? If they wanted to truck 300-foot trees over here and we plant them around the smokestack, that's the only way they're going to hide that thing.
And for God's sakes, this EDA committee and the board, whoever's in charge, if we'll just take a look at the last few decisions that they've made on our behalf, they buy land in Luray, assessed at $48,000 and paid $648 for it. They pay $7 million for $1 million project here. The very same people is coming to us now to put a smokestack in Page County that provides dioxin to eventually kill the population. Do these people have any credibility? Yes, I'd say defund their budget and dismantle, but get rid of them. These people are bad news for Page County, and I say that in all respect.
We live in one of the most upscale neighborhoods in Page County, directly across the street from the property that we're talking about putting FIBROWATT on. I just want to know if any of you have given any consideration to what it's going to do to the property value around that neighborhood.
I was at work tonight. That paper come out. My brother said, I guess this is the big factory. It was on the front page of Northern Magellan. It was a big secret. So I read that. Within 45 minutes of doing a search on chicken litter incinerators, it was a no-brainer. Absolutely no-brainer. And I can't believe it's dragged out this long.
I'm strongly opposed to FIBROWATT. As soon as I heard about it, I went and did as much research as I could to see the pros and cons. And I just personally come to the conclusion that it's not the right thing to bring to the county. There was a letter to the editor recently by the VFW, and it was a good letter that cited the effects of Agent Orange, or the dioxins that will be released by this plant. And I think there's a lot of other ways to bring business to our community without bringing something that's going to hurt us overall and be a long-term problem. Once it's here, once it pollutes, it's never going to leave.
I would suggest to you that there is an alternative. It's called composting, and it's a popular item in sustainable agriculture. And everybody that owns poultry litter, the integrators aren't going to take care of that because they don't own it. All they own is the birds. All they own is the feed. All they own are the trucks. All they own is the idea that you're going to get paid. You own the chicken litter and the land as the poultry farmer. And when you say poultry, and you skew the thing when you say it's a $143 million industry, now let's look at how much of that $143 million actually stays in Page County. The tourist money stays here. Spent here on the racetrack, it's spent here in the caverns, it's spent here in the hotels, it's spent here in the restaurants.
But mainly what I do now is environmental allergies, illnesses caused by things in the environment. In this suitcase, I have vials for all the, not everything, but a good many things that are in our environment that people react to. And I think I got vials for most of the things listed as byproducts from this operation. I've got dioxin vial, CO2, CO, acid, got stuff for lungs. I can see a lot of sickness coming out of this. I really can. And I treat this type of sickness. That's about all I do anymore. So if this is introduced into our environment, you're going to make me rich.
Nobody here is against jobs coming to Page County. We all want jobs here. But if you're willing to trade 30 dirty jobs for all the emissions that are going to come out of that stack, and if you need to know what that means, look at the permit that was granted to FIBROWATT in Minnesota. They're allowed to dump 4,800,000 pounds of emissions from that stack every year.
It's potentially going to present a lot of negative externalities that no one, as far as I know, has even tried to quantify. Do a cost-benefit analysis and do it fairly and diligently. How much more will it cost, for example, to repair the roads due to the higher traffic from heavy trucks rolling down the roads? Has anyone quantified that? Opportunity costs. If we put that here, what do we lose that might have come here instead? That is such a critical question to ask. I don't hear anyone asking it yet.
I am a tourism professional, but I did farm for half my life, so I don't think this is a tourism versus agricultural thing. I think that's wrong. That's a wrong analogy here, and something we shouldn't go there at all. You know, guys, I heard a 2-hour speech. Did any of us get to speak 2 hours? You know, my rear end hurt at the end of the thing. I mean, I'm not being facetious, but I really mean that. It was hard to listen to somebody for 2 hours to sell something. I've never in my life had someone ask me 2 hours to sell me something. Okay.
We had some talking tonight, some people talking, who felt they had been short-shrifted by not having an opportunity to research the possibility of FIBROWATT. Perhaps they didn't know that board members and EDA members had been in talks with FIBROWATT for more than 6 months, under a non-disclosure that included bringing them into the room 2 at a time and telling them they couldn't take notes because it was so secret. Everybody wants jobs to be available, but the FIBROWATT company, upon easy research, had glaring, objectionable, health-destroying deficiencies that should have quickly and easily excluded it from talks with Page County long before it got to this point. I hope you will keep in your thinking that an economic development authority's job is to encourage the businesses that do fit in the county. It is not to take money transferred to it from the taxpayers and use it as a private venture capital fund for businesses such as FIBROWATT who prey on rural communities and have a business model that does not include profitability without government subsidy.